Hamilton right now, but I know for me, this is as great as I've felt at Glory Days ever because it means we're back home in Tallahassee after a week away. Welcome into Inside Seminole Basketball, and great to be here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. My name is Jeff Culhane as we talk all things Florida State basketball here tonight. And I would imagine back in his own bed, well-rested, got a lot of sleep last night, and now here with us to give it up for the head coach, Leonard Hamilton, everybody. Oh,
well,
Coach.
I'm not real sure I'm well-rested.
No, I hear you.
And I haven't gotten very much sleep. When you go on the road, a long trip, and you don't play well and you don't come away with a victory, it's kind of hard to sleep. You're still trying, you're always watching those films and evaluating, trying to make sure you correct whatever ills that your team's dealing with, and hopefully that will be something that we are working on, that we'll be successful with, and hope maybe looking forward to Wednesday night. There's one thing good about the ACC: you can't have a pity party. You know, when things don't go well, you can't dwell on it. Just like when things go well, you can't get too excited. The league is tough. There's no doubt about that, and we've been somewhat inconsistent this year, so we need to try to get this bad taste out of my mouth, so that doesn't allow you to get very much sleep and rest very much.
That's right. That's very true. Tucker Center on a Wednesday night with Virginia Tech coming to town, and everything is going to feel better about being back at home after a lengthy trip into the state of California. Great show coming your way tonight. We got a lot of fun things to talk about and discuss. Obviously, we'll recap the week that was out in California, preview the week ahead. We've got a great guest. He's already here with us tonight. Daquan Davis is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Talented freshman guard for Leonard Hamilton and this Florida State basketball team. And we'll talk about some of the items around the trip as well that were highlights last week for this Florida State squad. You mentioned you watched the film. You've taken a look at it. And you probably gotten feedback from your guys as well on some of the things that they learned while they were out there. Your biggest takeaways from your team and from the trip last week overall, Coach?
Well, it's been kind of more of the same. You know, even though we've won some games, I've always felt that we still are not quite in sync offensively or defensively. We've won some games that we should have won. And I think that we got to think about doing a better job against those teams that challenge us. The lack of consistency, offense and defensively, and you know, kind of as coaches who've been in the coaching business as long as we have, we get kind of spoiled, and you don't recognize the importance. And I've said this before: you have juniors and seniors that were freshmen and sophomores, and it's a new day. You gotta teach differently. You gotta be more patient, maybe do less, take things a little slower, because you find yourself that those repetition, those things that you've been successful at doing over and over and over, sometimes you take them for granted. I look up out there one time and I had 3 or 4 freshmen on the floor at the same time, and they still learning and growing. And if you remember correctly, when we've had a lot of success, we've had 6, 7, 8 veterans returning, and then we integrate some first and second year players. We don't have the luxury of doing it now.
Yep. And when you talk about, Coach, the best version of ourselves, and when you and I have talked, you say, hey, it's about us. It's about our energy. It's about our execution and all of those items. When you see us playing some of our best basketball, what are the things that stand out to you about this group in particular that show out when they go out and play like they did last week at home?
Well, when we are playing well, we are playing more instinctively, as opposed to thinking and trying to figure out what the opponents are doing. For instance, the other night, they kind of defended us to try to keep us on the sideline, and all we had to do is reverse the ball, but we didn't handle that defensive execution. From an offensive standpoint as well, and it kind of bogged us down a little bit. And sometimes that's just part of the nature of what we are faced with now in basketball. We got to find a way to develop that cohesiveness that we all have been accustomed to. I think those of you who've seen us play over the years, you know, we've been fairly consistent with what we were doing, and those things that we did well, we were consistent with them. Right now, the consistency is a little elusive for us right now. We have not, even in the games that we've won, we've had those moments where we still are showing that we still are developing.
Yep. Hey, let's get into our truest hero of the game from our West Coast trip. We'll combine them, put them together. Truist, hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering and care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. And you're seeing Jamir Watkins up on the TVs here inside of Glory Days Grill. He is our Truist hero of the game and of the week last week, ladies and gentlemen. Scored 20 points in the contest against Stanford and was also in double figures in the game against Cal last week. And his numbers in ACC play since he's been here, Coach, they're fantastic. He's up over 23 points per game in his 1.5 seasons in ACC play in the Garnet and Gold. And, he's a guy, obviously, that we need to continue to have lead us and have provide that spark both as he leads by example and certainly leads vocally as he gets more comfortable doing that.
Well, there's no doubt it's a pleasure to have guys like him and Malik who are able to give us big moments, big games. But we've won games by committee, with 9 and 10 guys contributing consistently, being fresh on the court, being able to play with a lot of energy, and we are playing him probably a little more minutes than what we would like to. The way we play, fatigue will set in. That's why we try to keep fresh guys on the court. Well, in some of those tight games, sometimes we're extending Jameer's minutes a little more than I would like to. A lot of it's out of necessity. But hopefully we're now in the latter part of January. It's time for us to hit our stride. Yeah. This is when we should be playing our best basketball. That's one thing, like I said earlier, that's good about the ACC. You don't have a whole lot of time. You got to figure it out. And I thought we had a very good practice today. Yeah. I'm looking forward to a very good practice tomorrow. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be much more improved and a little better understanding of how we have to play come Wednesday night.
There you go. A great note from our guy Chuck Walsh, Media Relations Director Extraordinaire for Florida State men's basketball. Jamir Watkins has scored in double figures in 16 against 16 to 17 Seminole opponents that are current ACC foes. The only one is SMU, and we'll face SMU on Senior Day on March the 9th, and he enters Wednesday's game against Virginia Tech averaging an ACC career best of 22.6 points per game, and that's against Virginia Tech individually. He's been outstanding, to say the least, including that ACC tournament game a season ago, Coach, where he was fantastic, without a doubt. Well, we're just getting going here on a Monday night, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, and our program brought to you in part by ABC 27, our friends at ABC 27. Get free local news and weather 24/7. Just search WTXL on your favorite streaming device and watch local news and weather on your time. Coming up next on the program, we're going to talk with Coach Hamilton about his team's defense, what he's seeing from this group right now. A season-high 9 blocks versus Cal, and sped up Stanford, a team that takes care of the ball very well. That and more on the way. Back with more from Glory Days Grill when we come back.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles.
Seminole basketball. Let's rejoin the coach with Jeff Culhane.
And we're rolling along on Monday night. It is tremendous to be back home after a week in California. I could say that, right? That's a good one. Tremendous to be back. What do you think?
Well, I'm glad that we didn't have to endure the snow, the ice, and
That's
the
true.
rain, sleet. We were monitoring the weather while we were in California, and first it started raining, and then it turned into sleet,
Yeah.
and it turned into snow, and then all the schools were closed. So we really didn't miss any school.
We didn't miss. Yeah, you're right.
We unfortunately, well, fortunately for us, I guess, and
Yeah.
unfortunately for our local people, that they had to endure the challenge of probably the worst winter storm we've had in the history, in the last 15 or 20 years.
How many times has it snowed in Tallahassee for you?
This was the first time that I can remember.
That's accumulated like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We might have had a flake or two
Yeah.
somewhere along the way, but I don't remember anything like what obviously we experienced.
Yeah, it was
in Tallahassee
it was
last
something.
week.
It was something, wasn't it? Man, saw the pictures, saw the videos. Everybody's ready to get outside today after being pent up indoors last week, I'm sure. So, the weather was definitely out there and making it happen that we haven't seen in quite some time. Coach, defensively, your group prides itself on continuing to be relentless. You talk about having that junkyard dog mentality that you want to see more of on a consistent basis overall. Some of the highlights, I think, from last week against Cal, we had a season-high 9 blocks. Taylor Bull tied a career high with 4 blocks in that game against the Golden Bears. And then against Stanford, I know they shot up from 3 well, but I thought your guys really sped them up and forced them into some things that they weren't used to, turning the ball over like they hadn't done throughout the year very much this season.
Well, the fact that we've blocked a lot of shots has 2 meanings. In the first place, that means you're not containing the ball very well, and you're giving people opportunity to attack the basket, and that's the problem. Having defense where you can contain the dribble and you shrink those gaps and don't give them those opportunities to get into the lane. But it's important that we do have now some guys that can deter and alter shots in the lane. That really is a welcome sight, because you're not going to play perfect defense all the time. Containing the dribble is probably the most challenging thing to do in basketball, because if you notice, there has been a lot more what they call ISO basketball developed over the last 3 or 4 years that makes it even extremely challenging to contain the dribble, and people are shooting the ball very well from the perimeter. So it puts you in gives you a challenge from a defensive standpoint. With the ISO, you're gonna get into the lane. Now you got to rotate and block shots, but then it's the kick out that you guard. that gives them the uncontested threes. So that's why defense is so important, and everybody being on the same page where the help helps the helper.
Yeah.
You know, and those are things that we got to be a little more sound on.
Communication. You and I were talking about that during practice while we were out west. Huge key with your defense, right? Having your guys talk, as you discuss, being on the same page with what you want them to do overall.
Well, there's no doubt that talking on defense is important now. The young man that you're going to have on the show, Mr. Davis,
yes,
he does a really good job of talking. He's high energy. But we have some personalities on our team that are kind of quiet and laid back. But on the basketball court, you can't be quiet and laid back because mistakes happen, and you have to constantly be talking and communicating with your teammates so that when things come that are challenging, we all on the same page. You know, you like to draw it up in practice, but it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
That's why talking and communicating is very, very important.
Yep. On offense, you talk about read and react quite a bit with how you guys do it on the offensive end of the floor. Is it a similar mindset with how you play defense?
You have to talk on the offensive side and the defensive side. And sometimes it's hard for you to have the confidence to speak up when you're still learning what you're supposed to be doing. And people think that, you know, the ball goes in the basket and we cheer. But there's a lot of things going on to make that happen, offensively and defensively. And it's challenging. And I think we're getting better. I thought we had a good sign in practice today where we were executing the defensive fundamentals well. You know, I told you earlier that we try to grade about 9 different things defensively. And we've charted them over the last 30 years. And we've been pretty consistent. When we are 70% efficient, we have won like almost 95% of our games over the last 30 years. Yeah. When we grade out defensively, we have not been grading out consistently this year.
To that level. Yeah, to that level. You know, in the game Saturday versus Stanford, we went up against one heck of a player, Maxime Reynaud, who leads the ACC in scoring and rebounding. And, Coach, your guys held him to his first game not scoring in double figures this season at 8 points. And I know they got some looks probably off of him with some of the things that they were executing and trying to do. But, man, if you would have told me we were going to hold him to 8 points before the game, I'd have signed up for that every day of the week and twice on Sunday, as your guys paid a lot of attention to him and made him uncomfortable, it felt like, throughout the game Saturday.
Well, in reality, we really didn't change a lot of what we normally do. That part of our defense philosophy was working and doing well. But teams are now, and I guess you've noticed, every team will have guys who can really, really shoot the ball. And if you leave them open, they're going to make you pay. And the one kid who had not been shooting very well from three,
right?
You know, and you can't ever go into a game, I think he might have been shooting less than 30%, but he really, really shot the ball well. And that's what you're facing against teams in the ACC. They might have guys whose maybe their numbers don't represent how good they really are from a perimeter shooting standpoint. And like, for instance, Jerry Dane is an excellent shooter. You see, but his numbers doesn't reflect that. He's adjusting to a new team, new system, new program, new league. But he's an excellent shooter. I would have a problem with him taking the last second shot as well. That's why it's important that your offense is connected so you create those shots and those opportunities for guys who are skilled in certain areas. And the less you move the ball and the less you move your body, the lower percentage shots that you get. You know, because when you push the ball down the court and it's 5-on-5 or 4-on-4, sometimes it's time to move the ball, and that's where we have our most challenge right now.
Yep, Jerry Dang right now for the Noles, 26 threes made on the season. That is second most on this Florida State basketball team behind Jamir Watkins, 35 on the year. We talked about Taylor Bolbo, and Coach, he's a guy that's one of the top shot blockers in the ACC at right around 1.6 blocks per game. He's got 30 blocks for us on the season. Where has he made strides in his game defensively with what you're asking him to do to have those kinds of numbers and have that kind of production for you on that end?
That he has been improving leaps and bounds. For instance, in the game he shot, he was 4 for 4 from three. I see that every day in practice. But those are standing uncontested shots. He does a great job on 1-2 dribble pull-ups, and so he's added that part to his game. But in order for him to be able to contribute in those areas, our offense has to move the ball and move our bodies. We have not been consistent with that. And same thing with Jared. If he gets open looks, but you don't get open looks unless somebody create that open look for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 30. Yeah. Go ahead, Coach.
And so those are areas where I feel that we're having a better understanding of how that works in relation to the team we have, and I'm expecting us to show some outstanding improvement coming here in the near future.
There you go. I like it. Blocks for Taylor Bull-Bone. 30 blocks on the season and 1.5 blocks per game. Third in the ACC. He also has 23 steals on the season. And we got a couple of guys, a handful of guys that are in that category, Coach. Jameer's got 29. Daquan we'll talk to a little bit. He's got 26 steals. Chandler's got 24 steals on the season. Justin Thomas has 25. So you talk about deflections quite a bit. When you get those numbers up, those have been some of the guys that have been pretty handsy in that category for you.
There's no doubt that we chart deflections every game. We try to get 35. We try to get 35 deflections every game. That normally gives you some easy baskets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing that's been challenging us when we get a stop, we like to turn that into some offensive opportunities, and we worked hard on that today's practice, and hopefully you'll see the results of that come Wednesday.
Absolutely. Hey, introducing the official vodka of Florida State Athletics, SV Vodka. Crafted for a smooth taste, SV Vodka is 100% vegan, perfect for those who value purity in every sip. Experience the unique blend of tradition and innovation with SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. Well, obviously it was a business trip out west, and basketball was the focus. But the Noles also had a great opportunity for team bonding out west as well, with a chance to go out and check out one of their former stars in action in San Francisco. We'll talk with Coach about that and more when we come back as Inside Seminole Basketball continues after this timeout.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sights, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles.
and Sydney welcome us back from the Florida State Cheer Squad. We appreciate those ladies and their time tonight. Thank you, gals, for getting us fired up here at Glory Days in Tallahassee. As the Noles, we're happy to be back home and getting ready for Virginia Tech on Wednesday night. It is a 7 p.m. Eastern tip. We're on the air at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on the radio and the audio side on the Seminole Sports Network. And tip time, 7:05. Hope to see you inside the Tucker Center for an ACC game here in the midweek. Well, obviously it's a business trip when we were out west, going out there to get it done and grab some victories. But there is certainly a lot of time, Coach Hamilton, where as a team we had opportunities to bond, spend some time together, and it was a pretty special moment. First off, on Wednesday night, when one of your former stars, Patrick Williams, and one of his Bulls teammates made their way to the game in Berkeley and watched us against Cal. But then the next night, we got to return the favor. And your team, as you're seeing some of the highlights here on the TV, got to enjoy a game at the Chase Center in San Francisco and watch Pat and his Chicago Bulls team play the Golden State Warriors. Pretty special night.
Well, it was always nice to get together with your former players who have moved on to that next level, and they can impart wisdom on your team that is meaningful and helpful to those guys. He came in the locker room and said hello there in California. And it's nice to see him, moving on with his career and representing the FSU brand very, very well.
A part of that great 2019-2020 team that you had, sixth man of the year that season, and he was the fourth pick overall in the 2020 NBA draft. Just a special young man. You had him for 1 year. What was the impact that Pat Williams made in his 1 year in the Garnet and Gold for you?
Well, he was such a humble guy, and he was easy to coach. He was always in the gym asking his teammates questions, and they would always come back to me and just say, gosh, he wanted to know everything. And then there were times I would get to the office early, and he would be in the gym with one of his teammates, and they walking through spots on the floor just so he could get an idea of what he was supposed to be doing. He said to me that I wanted to learn how to defend, and I want to learn how to play hard. And so he did both of those. I mean, he only played right at 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
But he knew that he had to play hard. He knew he wanted to play with a lot of energy, and he wanted to learn how to defend, and he blocked a lot of shots, and he always played with a lot of energy. One game, Daquan Gray had turned his ankle, and I told him that he needed to replace him the second half, and I walked out of the locker room, and he turned to his teammates and said, does he not know I'm still a freshman? but my point to you, that's how humble he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't about points. It wasn't about minutes. It wasn't about, how much he played. It was about winning and developing. So he never put the pressure on himself that some guys put in, thinking that the only success I can have is get to the NBA.
Yeah.
But the byproduct of him not being focused on anything that would be mentally challenging for him, he was focused on the right things. He's a great teammate, and he was eager to do whatever you asked him to do, and he played played free without stress, and I think that's one reason why he was able to have such a successful freshman year at such a young age.
Yeah.
I think he might have been the youngest NBA player rookie at that particular time.
Yep. Some of the things that people have told me about Pat's his mentality, his approach overall. There were a lot of things that you just said. Obviously, it was how can he make an impact on the team and understanding. I think one of the things that's probably very difficult for young players and really for anybody that's trying to make a difference as a young player in a sport is the understanding that I don't have to play 35 minutes or score 25 points to be recognized overall. If I do certain things the way the coaches want me to and do them the right way, I'm going to help my team win games. And that's the kind of guy he sounded like when I asked people about Patrick Williams.
He averaged less than 10 points a game, 9.5 or something like that. And he only played 20 minutes a game. But he didn't have he had a small circle, just him and his family. He didn't have a lot of distractions of people being in his ears like we have now, with the climate that exists now in college basketball, college sports altogether. But He worked hard, and all he wanted to do was contribute to helping his team win.
Yeah.
He was always alert, spent a lot of time mentally gaining knowledge from the players on the team. And the good thing about him being involved, we had a lot of veterans that allowed us to be patient with him. And when he wasn't talking to coaches, he was talking to his teammates that were juniors and seniors that were freshmen and sophomores. So it made the transition for him a lot easier.
Yeah, no, it was great to see him, and tell you what, he definitely looks the part out there on the floor. That is a big, physical, long athlete in Patrick Williams for the Chicago Bulls. Hey, time now for our Scott and Wallace Keys to Success as we get ready to take on Virginia Tech on Wednesday night. Scott and Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State Athletics. Scott and Wallace with offices in Tallahassee. You said you went a little shorter today. Shorter with practice, but you like the energy. You're coming back tomorrow, and a Virginia Tech team, they're going to be hungry, Coach. They've hit the tough part of a schedule, and they've lost 3 in a row coming in. And, I know you have a ton of respect for Mike Young as a head coach with the stuff that he brings to the table.
Well, Mike has had a great career, but he's saying he now is understanding the type of talent that you have to compete in the ACC. We know we need to be at our best, but that's the way it is with every team in the ACC. We have tried not to get hyped up from one team more than the other, which is hard to do. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the name on the front of someone's jersey sometimes dictates the energy and the emotions that you put into the game. And you have to get to the point where you understand it doesn't matter who you're playing in the ACC. If you're not at your very best, somebody give you a hat and show you the door. That's just the way it is. And so you have to be more proud of the name that on the front of your jersey that motivates you to create that intensity and togetherness, focus, rather than worrying about who you're playing. Virginia Tech's record, to me, might be a little disappointing to them, but that's when you have a letdown, when you don't totally buy into mental preparation on who you are and what you represent. So the game is Wednesday will be more about us than it will be about Virginia Tech. We need to make sure we in the right frame of mind and mode with the level of energy. We can't let the game be more important to them than it is to us.
Yep, great stuff there from Florida State head man Leonard Hamilton. As Inside Seminole Basketball brought to you in part by Truist. Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Well, when we return, it is Leonard Hamilton's favorite segment, a fan question from the crowd. And, man, we had a lot of great fans out in the Bay Area. We'll talk about their support and what it means to Florida State basketball. That and more when we return live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. We are back after this timeout.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
from Glory Days Grill, here is Jeff Culhane.
Roll along Monday night, having some fun here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Welcome back to Inside Seminole Basketball with Florida State head man Leonard Hamilton. My name is Jeff Culhane. Coming up in our next segment for a couple of segments, standout freshman guard Daquan Davis is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, can't wait to talk with Daquan and hear about his first year in the Garnet and Gold. Let's get right away to our fan question of the night. And this is Leonard Hamilton's favorite segment of the show right here. But we also wanted to bring in, he is the play-by-play voice of Florida State women's basketball. And what a call he had yesterday of Tanaya Latson's game-winner buzzer beater against North Carolina. Jack Kavovit. Jack in Tallahassee here with us. Yes.
Nope.
There he is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Great job. Great call yesterday. Great moment for Tanaya and the Florida State women. That was awesome.
Absolutely. I'm still kind of shaking a little bit from it. It was electric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
feels
on
good to be
cloud
back.
nine. I like
nine.
that. Great job. Great call. He actually predicted that would happen at breakfast yesterday, by the way. We're going to call him Karnak Kavovit moving forward. That's what we're going to call him. That's right. All right, you have a question for Coach
do.
Hamilton. Go take it away.
Coach, I do got a question for you. You know, we're talking about the West Coast trip, obviously uncharted territory, having to go out there during the middle of the season. But how does that change your preparation now going forward, coming back with a game coming up this week? Does that change how you guys are practicing, or do you think how that travel may affect some of the day-to-day stuff before your next game?
Well, obviously, you're not able to identify what the jet lag does for you. I mean, that's kind of a silent thing, and it affects every player will be affected differently with the lack of sleep and the time change and everything. So it's been my experience. So what we doing, we shorten the practice a little bit. We're still going hard, but we're not going as long. We had a very thorough and maybe somewhat of a short film session. Sometimes they can get a little lengthy when you're debriefing from one game and then moving into preparation for another game. But we had a shorter debriefing period because those games are behind us, and we dove right into preparing for Virginia Tech. And our practices today were game specific as to what areas we felt that we need to be prepared for to be efficient in versus Virginia Tech, offensively and defensively.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
There you go. There you go. Jack Kavovit right there. And make sure you tune in to Jack and Melissa Bruner. He'll be back on the call Thursday against Boston College, 96.5 The Spear in Tallahassee. And make sure you have that FSU Game Day app. He'll be with us on the call for our game at BC, staying up there, and will join me on the other radio side on Saturday as well. Well, as we teased in before our last break, we obviously appreciate everybody who's joining us tonight. We appreciate the support, all of our fans that come out and support us. And, Coach, we had a great group of fans that came out to our games against Cal and against Stanford, and they also made their way to the team hotel afterwards on Saturday night following the game. And I know we didn't get the result that we wanted to, but that was pretty cool to see what those folks, the energy they brought and their enthusiasm for Florida State basketball. We see some of the highlights here on the screens at the Glory Days.
Well, I found it very interesting as I was talking with some of the fans. There were people saying, when we were here in 2002, they was telling me things about games that they had gone to. And
Those shades you got on right there.
Was I cool or wasn't?
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? I
had that cool, so bright.
I had that cool look, didn't I, with those shades
You
on.
look cool, man. You look way cool.
Actually, I don't know what they call them. Those are the kind of shades that you take pictures with.
Oh, the AI, the smart shades
Well,
or whatever.
I'm a dinosaur, so I'm not real sure. I'm up to date on all that. I was just following the instructions.
Yeah.
I was flipping something.
Snapping a picture on those shades.
And I was taking pictures. I hope no one's doing that to me.
Yeah.
But it was a little interesting. But I enjoyed them because they were so enthusiastic. Had nothing but fond memories of their times at Florida State. And they, believe me, they were bringing up things that they enjoyed about their time here from a basketball standpoint. And be very honest with you, I didn't remember all of what they were saying. But they was excited, and they were excited to see our players. And I thought it uplift our players' spirits a little bit. And so it was a great moment.
Yeah, it really was. It was a lot of fun to see everybody come on out from the San Francisco Seminole Booster Club. The support means so much, and it means a ton, obviously, across the board. With that said, our program is brought to you in part by Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported, is not funded by tax dollars? Because of this, we rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the court. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month. It comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That's SeminoleBoosters.com. Well, coming up next, we're fired up. We're excited to have him here with us tonight. He has been a huge addition in the Garden Gold. How about freshman point guard Daquan Davis joins the show? That and more when we come back live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. We are back after this timeout.
Hey, Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles. Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. This is Inside Seminole Basketball.
Back in here at Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, enjoying Monday nights. We appreciate everybody coming out, joining us here this evening, talking all things Florida State hoops. As the Noles get ready, great to be back at home, taking on Virginia Tech on Wednesday night. Really excited right now to be joined to my left by a great addition to Leonard Hamilton's program. Let's please give it up for Daquan Davis, everybody, here with us in the house. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
It's great to have you here.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate your time. How has the first year been overall? How would you describe your experience at Florida State University, Daquan?
I feel like my teammates and Coach Ham and the coaching staff made this the best experience I could get as a freshman coming into college. You know, they gave me a big opportunity, a big role to play, and I appreciate them for it.
Biggest transition from high school, prep school, and then making the jump to high major college basketball, playing in the ACC. How would you describe that transition on the floor overall?
I felt like overtime made it easy. You know, being able to play with other good players in high school helped me translate to playing with other good players in college. And, you know, I just felt just jumped into the system like right away. So, you know, I put everything together and I was able to figure it out early.
Let's talk about your upbringing, where you come from, where you grew up, and obviously you mentioned Overtime Elite. That is one heck of a program that so many of the great players in high school are able to be a part of. But talk about where you're from, your family a little bit, and then how you made your way during high school to get to Florida State.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
There you go. Nancy says yes. We got Baltimore in the house tonight.
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. My high school journey, I started off at St. Francis, ended up at St. John's, and finalized my career at Overtime Elite. I did 2 years at St. Francis, one at St. John's, one at Overtime. And I felt like every school has helped me out in a certain way. You know, my freshman year in high school, I was looking at like 6 minutes, maybe. And I was thinking if I was good at basketball, I was like, bro, maybe this ain't my sport. Maybe I should go play football or something. And then after that, I figured it out. I started figuring it out. I got in the gym a lot, early mornings, late nights to figure out, you know, just being able to produce when I do get my chance to get on the floor. In my sophomore year, I went from 6 minutes to not coming off the floor. You know, it was a big jump for me. And I felt like the work has always, like, been there. It always showed in the light. So I just kept working, and it got me to where I am now.
Mention Overtime Elite in Atlanta. What is, for people that don't know, what is it, and how did it help you develop into the player that you are right now?
Overtime Elite, I feel, is like a closer step to the NBA. You know, they got the top trainers, the top nutrition, top everything, really. And I felt like it helped me translate here because, you know, they prepared me. They told me the real world, what NBA scouts looking for. They had old ex-scouts come in, give us reports of how we can make it to the NBA, how we can't make it to the NBA, what NBA would need from, you know, especially like a guy my size. I'm only 6'1". You know, the league is developing to taller guard. So I feel like me getting the feedback from ex-NBA scouts has helped me a lot. So, you know, Overtime just gave me a lot of confidence coming into college.
Yeah, we can see it, that's for sure. You do not play with any fear, and that's very impressive for a young player at this level. There's no doubt. Well, we got one more segment with Daquan Davis. We appreciate his time very much as our opportunity to talk with our student athletes is presented by Seminole Boosters. And Inside Seminole Basketball brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. Mean on stains, green on earth. Try new Eco Green Dry Cleaning. Daquan Davis, that and more on the way, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee when we come back.
Florida. Home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/Seminoles.
Welcome to Truist, the bank that starts with care, and the student banking partner of Florida State University. And now, Truist is the official retail bank of Florida State Athletics. They're proud to join a passionate fan base, empower our student athletes, and to support our community. Because when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank and a different kind of partnership. Thank you, Truist, for this exciting partnership with Florida State Athletics.
More Inside Seminole Basketball. Here is Jeff Culhane.
All right, roll along here in our final couple of segments. Daquan Davis here is with us tonight. I tell you, he's been one of my favorites to watch this year because we talked about it. You just, for a young player, you're so poised, you're locked in. That for some guys, that takes a while. As a freshman, what do you attribute that to?
I
Parents, coaches, mentors, where does that come from, Daquan?
I don't feel like it's always been easy, you know,
Yeah.
to
No, I'm
just
sure
adjust
not.
to something as big as this, especially with all the fans and everything like that. So, like, once again, I feel like overtime has put me in the spotlight from, like, the stands been packed out every night. So, you know, me being able to perform in front of the kids every night and giving them a show that they want has helped me perform here.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm told that your mother is watching the show tonight
Yes,
back
she
home
is.
in Baltimore on the Seminoles YouTube channel. So if you want to say hi to Mom right now, there we go.
What's up, Mother?
Very good. Very good. All right, let's talk about this week. Getting ready for a game back at home. I'm sure after a long road trip, you and the guys are ready to play in front of the home crowd on Wednesday night against Virginia Tech. How great will it feel to be in front of our fans and be back inside the Tucker Center here this week?
It would feel great. And our fans are amazing. They've been showing a lot of love this year, and I really appreciate it. You know, I can't express more how fired up we get when the fans are out there for us. You know, I feel like they give us a boost of attributes. You know, they help us play really good. So, I mean, the more they keep packing us out, I feel like the more we'll get more energy and bring wins.
You interact with our fans quite a bit on social media as well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. On Instagram, you have 165,000 followers. Is that correct?
154.
154,000 followers? Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you obviously very active there, but you connect with people very well.
Yes. I just feel like I like to be humble because, you know, I was in everybody else's spot a moment before. You know, it was just my senior year where I blew up and got all the followers. I went into my senior year, I think, with like 10K followers, and I came out with.
That's still really good.
Yeah. So, you know, I went in and, you know, I was just a humble guy. So, you know, every time I get to meet somebody or every time somebody wants a picture or just wants to talk, I always give them that opportunity, you know, because I was just once in their shoes.
Yeah. Well, promote the Insta handle right now, huh?
Nah.
No, okay. He is humble. There it is. That's a humble young man right there. Well, I'll tell you what. Keep up the great work. Keep being you. Keep playing hard. We're enjoying watching you play.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate
Daquan Davis, everybody, joining us here at our main table as our program is brought to you in part by Grassroots Coffee. Love to thank them for their support of Florida State basketball. Order from Grassroots Coffee for your home or business today at grassrootscoffee.com or find it at a store, restaurant, or coffee shop near you. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. Take one more time out, and we'll come back. By the way, a little half-court magic courtesy of Glory Days Grill. We'll get Leonard Hamilton's scouting report on this half-court heave when we return. Back with more from Glory Days when we come back.
Around here, there's an undeniable spirit. It's like it's always been there. You just feel it. It energizes. It connects. It grows at every intersection in its path. And when met with our passion to win, well, it can be downright powerful. At Scott & Wallace, it's this spirit that fuels us. Scott & Wallace, the official law firm of the Florida State Seminoles.
Florida, home to pristine beaches, unique dining experiences, world-class accommodations, and the thrills that keep the young and young at heart coming back to the Sunshine State. From coast to coast, see what our 10,000 members of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association have been preparing for you. Exceptional eats, historic sites, and lodging to fit any budget. So whether you're here making deals or making memories, come get a flavor for Florida's finest restaurants and hotels.
Hey Seminole fans, this is Jeff Culhane, voice of Florida State men's basketball. Are you tired of sleeping hot? I was too. ChiliPad has a solution for that. ChiliPad works with your existing mattress. It's a temperature-regulated, water-based mattress topper that precisely controls your bed temperature from 55 degrees to 115 degrees. Who wouldn't want to have that at night? Visit www.sleep.me/Seminoles and see why ChiliPad bed cooling systems are the official bed cooling partner of Florida State Athletics. That's sleep.me/.
Glory Days Grill, this is Inside Seminole Basketball.
All right, Eleanor and Sydney, welcome us back one final time, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, the host site of Inside Seminole Basketball, Monday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Come on out, an all-star selection of food, drinks, and here, of course, from this guy, the head coach, Leonard Hamilton. Coach, you got to watch one of the TVs in our pit game. Glory Days Grill was the corporate sponsor, and this young man had a half-court heave for Wings for a Year right there at the Tucker Center during one of those timeouts. Nolan Larvik is his name. Wings for a Year. What's your scatter report on Nolan's half-court shot right there, huh?
I just wished I could go with him to get some of those wings. I love wings.
Same here, Coach. We got about 30 seconds left here in our final segment. Virginia Tech coming in on Wednesday night. Yeah, you mentioned it's about us. It's about our energy. We got to want it a little bit more than they do Wednesday night.
There's no doubt about that. I think we need to make sure we execute our game plan offensively and defensively. They're going to be hungry for a victory. We definitely need a victory. We don't need to lose in more games at home. It gets tough enough being on the road. But I think our guys will be ready. I'm excited about what I feel and what I feel from the film sessions and the practice today, that we'll be much more focused than we were on the trip to the West Coast.
Yep, that energy you talk about, that's what you're looking for, especially from that Pitt and Georgia Tech games at home last week.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, appreciate it. We'll get you some shades next time. You got the shades rocking, looking good.
How about Daquan? Is he a mature young man?
He's something, isn't he?
Well,
he is great.
He's special.
Yes, he is.
He's a competitor. He's mature beyond his years.
Yep. He
has a high basketball IQ, and I think he's going to have a great career.
Yep, absolutely. That'll do it for us on Monday Night Live here at Glory Days. Have a great day, everybody, and go Noles!
Sports Network. All rights reserved.